let's find out what is that stress. What is the definition? What is it all about? We constantly hear stress, 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 but we never find out what is it really. So let's do that. According to definitions in psychology, stress represents the response of our organism to some external demands or life demands. Okay? So stress is a response of our mental part, our physiological part, and our behavioral part. What does it mean? It means that in our organism there are a lot of changes when we are in some dangerous or threatening situation. We have changes in our thoughts, in our cognitive part, in our perception. We have changes in our physiological part. We will learn about it later. And we have changes in our behavioral part. How do we act? Okay? So what's happening? Fight or flight. You probably heard of this expression, fight or flight, when you are thinking, reading, or asking about fear, for example. Okay? It's some response that is triggered when we have to save our lives. Alright? When we are in danger situation, and then fight or flight. Are you gonna fight against it, or you gonna run to save your life? So that is basically it. The instant reaction and the instant response of our organism to something dangerous. So we can say that stress is here to protect us. Stress is our friend. Can we say that? We will find out. Alright? So that is the instant response, fight or flight. General adaptive syndrome. It's telling us that we are trying to adapt to something, and that's it. When something is messing around and is trying to ruin our psychological and physiological balance. Okay, homeostasis, it's called in psychology. So our organism see that, okay, we feel it through our 5 senses. And then our organism giving us a support in order to be able to just keep that balance. Okay. The first man who invented the term stress was Hans Sally. He was so obsessed with that huge discovery. He knew that he's going to discover something, and he really wanted to do that. Okay, he was really dedicated to that experience and that research. He did researches on rats, and what he done, he was somehow torturing those animals. Okay, he did some experiments to see is it going to create the stress response. He didn't know in that moment that is going to call it stress response and general stress syndrome, which he did at the end. But what he done, he exposed those animals to really high and extreme external conditions. You remember when we defined the stress as response to external conditions? So Hans Sally did that. Okay, he did a research on rats, and he exposed those animals to, for example, extremely high temperature, extremely, sorry, my allergies, extremely low temperature. They were extremely hungry, okay, and their organism reacted really, really strongly. They, most of them died at the end, and what Hans Sally discovered in that time was that the term stress, response of the organism on external conditions. I will not bother you with this experiment. You are able to read about it on the internet, okay? Just type Hans Sully experiment. But what's happened later, and which is not so logical, is that definition is not somehow complete, okay? Let's use an example. If you put 5 different people, okay, not animals in this case, but people in the same situation, you will get 5 different responses. For somebody that will be stressed, for somebody no. So how is that possible? Because there is something really interesting and really important, and I want you to write down this, okay? The stress is actually our response to our perception of the situation, okay? Is not how this situation or something that is happening is high, strong, hard, okay? Is how do I see? Do I see this situation as really hard? Okay. And the second important thing, how do I see my capabilities to cope with this situation? Also, 5 different people, okay, 10 in this case, 10 different people, one same situation, but they have different opinion. John, he thinks that he is not able to stand this situation, okay? Mary thinks that she is very strong and she is able to cope with this. So in John's organism and in Mary's organism, there will be completely different reactions, okay? He will rise up the stress hormones and she will not. All right. So I wanted to give you this like general look on the stress. Okay, later we will learn more about coping and more about how we are able and are we able to change this.